Hello everybody, Epic Mewtwo here. Today we have a brand new Dokkan battle discussion video. So I know that there's been a lot of talk about this in the community. There's been a lot of mixed things thrown into the mix. I've thrown some opinions into the mix in streams and videos and whatnot. But today we are going to talk about the not Super DragonBall Heroes, not there yet. We have the Dragon Ball Heroes units on Global Dokkan. Now, nothing is confirmed. That's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm sorry, I worded that kind of poorly. They're not confirmed yet. You've got no official confirmation from DanDan, anything. So, we're going to talk about a couple things today. Going to talk about some misconceptions from my part as well as the community. We're going to talk about some of my personal opinions on, these units coming to Global. And we're going to talk about some information that we have here. Not in that order, but we're going to talk about it. So, first of all, let me kind of clear up some confusion from my end of information that I've said, as well as, that the community said. So, I know a lot of people have been talking about how the reason why Dragon Ball Heroes can't come to Global is because of licensing issues. I've also said this myself, because this is just kind of what I believe to be the case. This is not entirely true. Licensing, it takes a little bit, sure, especially in Japan. Their laws are different than the laws in the United States of different kinds of licensing and stuff, because, these characters are a part of Dragon Ball Heroes. So, of course, that kind of plays a factor into this. So, I said that too, so I want to apologize for saying that that they're probably not going to come because of licensing issues. That's not true. Maybe it's partially true that licensing is sort of an issue, but it's not the end all be all. So I want to apologize for kind of sharing that information and kind of clear that up, because I know some people in the community have said it as well. Either way, that could be a reason why, it's taking so long for these guys to come, because, like I said, licensing in Japan is different than it is here in the States. But we're going to talk about the actual information that we have about these guys being on Global right now, and then we'll actually talk about, my personal opinions on all this stuff. And don't worry, I'm not saying, like, when I say my personal opinions, I don't mean like I don't want them to come to Global. That's not what I mean. I'll share. Hold on. Don't get angry yet. No, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I'm just messing with you. Anyhow, we are on DBZ Space once again. Shout out to the boy Renzi as always. Links to everything that we're looking at here, by the way, will be in the description below as per usual. So, right now, what you're looking at is the global database of cards that are scheduled to come out. Now, of course, they have a little cross for them, and, it says they're coming out in 2025. Trust me, I don't think it's going to be 2025 when some of these units come out. I don't think that's going to be the case. Trunks, Broly, the man Physical Gotenks is here. 2030. Nah, that's not the case. Don't worry. I'm only looking at them here because for some reason in the actual inactive list on Global, the only units, at least that I can see here, unless I'm blind, are Boobity and the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks that are actually just in the inactive list. So I don't see them here. I see Super Saiyan 3 Broly and Physical Gotenks and LR Tudunksu there, but I unfortunately don't see the other Dragon Ball Heroes units there. Just for context though, we'll be putting them, we'll just be looking at them here. So, of course, we can see that, they're translated, obviously. That's a very good sign. So, of course, we have Baby Janemba here. He was better before. I don't think he's, that really good anymore, but they're still all very cool cards. Of course, here we have Boobity. And then we have the Gotenks here, the adult Gotenks, which Dokkan awakens into the Super Saiyan 3 adult Gotenks. And we also have Super Pikkon. So these guys are all translated. That's a very good sign. That means that they hopefully have some plans to release these guys. Now, of course, all of these guys will, okay, maybe not Luck in You, but that's a different discussion, will come out on Global. Of course, we can assume that Gotenks is going to be the next one. Again, another discussion, but he's translated already, and Broly's not. So, these guys are translated on Global, which is a good thing. And I guess if you guys don't understand what I'm saying there, of course, all of these cards just come from the Japanese version. They send the data over to the guys at the Global version because it's the same people who run the game, just different divisions like the Global and the JP division. Of course, it's not called that, but, you know, we'll just refer to them as that in the video. And then they translate the cards for English speaking or, you know, French or whatever global region that you're in. So these guys are translated. That is a very good sign. You know, that means that they're definitely farther along than some of these other units that frankly should have been released already, but either way, these guys are translated. Like I said, I know that's like the third time, so I'll stop saying it, but good sign. That's what I'm trying to say with that. Another very interesting thing to note, and I think that this is awesome that they're doing this right away. Of course, the inactive list, interestingly enough, is only Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks there. But what I really like, the fact that they already have the Super Saiyan 3 adult Gotenks translated, because if you guys don't know, when these guys were initially released on JP, you know, they came out earlier this year, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken on that. That is when they came out. But either way, the adult Gotenks didn't have a Dokkan Awakening when he first dropped. Then, when physical Gotenks dropped on JP during the summer of this year, the adult Gotenks got a Dokkan Awakening with his medals. Very interesting that they did that, because the Dragon Ball, oh, by the way, punch a mic squad. The Dragon Ball Heroes banner was gone by that point. And when physical Gotenks dropped, that's when he got the Dokkan Awakening. So it was like, if you had the card, you could awaken him. If not, oh well. So that was very interesting. That was frustrating as well. That was why I was going so hard for Gotenks on this more recent banner. If you haven't seen that summoning video, check it out on the channel. But just kind of interesting that they did that. So I'm very glad with Global that it seems like that they'll be dropping his Dokkan Awakening right with the original unit. I'm really happy about that, because obviously the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is an awesome unit, very close to my heart. Love that guy, but that's a good thing. Very good thing there. Also, this could hint, honestly, that that banner might drop with Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Of course, we have no information about when he's dropping at the time of this recording. But because, you know, the Super Saiyan 3 adult Gotenks came out with physical Gotenks on JP, or at least the Dokkan Awakening did, that could be a fair assumption that these units might drop then. Of course, again, nothing is confirmed. So that's pretty much all of the information we have. This is just all of the units I had pulled up from when they came out on JP. So, let me give my personal opinions on this before we hop into it. One, this banner will not have the Super Dragon Ball Heroes units that we just got on JP. Those will definitely come later. They're not even in the database for Global right now, so they're not going to be coming, you know, as soon as this banner is. Of course, that being the brand new Toa. I believe it's Darkness Toa. I always forget what her transformation is called. Super Saiyan 3 Trunks and the Super Saiyan 3 Gohan. Those guys will probably come later down the line. This banner obviously has to come out first. So, let me give my opinions on this. One, I really hope these units come to Global. I really like Dragon Ball Heroes. I don't know what it is. I'm a big fan of Japanese arcade games, especially this one. You know, it's Dragon Ball. I love it, and I love cards, and it uses cards, and all that kind of stuff. I love Dragon Ball Heroes, so I really hope this comes to Global. These units are great. You know, the Super Pycon, the Baby Janemba, and the Boobity probably need Dokkan Awakenings by this point, but they're still really cool units to just have in the game. Of course, the adult Gotenks is awesome as well. You know, it's freaking adult Gotenks. That's super cool. So I would love for Global to get these units, obviously, excuse me. I would love to pull for them on Global, honestly. I'd love to have them on both versions. But here's what I'm thinking. Now, this is a totally opinionated, so please don't go and say that this is confirmed or anything. Here's how I look at this, right? I've kind of dove into the world of Japanese video games for quite some time now. You know, I'm still pretty young, but I've been playing them for a hot minute. I like to think that I know my stuff at least a fair bit amount, right? So, here's why I think that this banner might not come to global. And honestly, I think it will. I really do think it will. Because obviously the units are translated, and I don't see why they couldn't put it up, you know, obviously once all the licensing issues, if that's even a thing, you know, are all sorted out. Here's a reason why I think that it couldn't come, and I guess this is just kind of a counterpoint. For them, there's really no reason for them to release it because this game isn't in the States, and there's no real promotion for this game or any, like, big fan base for this game in the States. Now let me explain. Of course people know Dragon Ball Heroes. Obviously I'm a giant fan. I know other people who like it too. You know, there is a fan base here in the States, but it's very small. And I know that some Dragon Ball fans have never even heard of it before. I start talking about it and they're like, what are you talking about? And then I show it to them and they're blown away. But either way, you know, some don't even know about it. So let's compare this for a second to Dragon Ball Fusions. Dragon Ball Fusions, of course, you know, originally Japanese game. It got translated and brought over to the States. Awesome. Love that game for the 3DS. Check it out if you haven't yet. But the reason why I bring Fusions up is because, of course, we got the Fusions banner here on Global. Because Fusions was obviously a game that was released here in the States, and of course wherever you are. I'm just in the States, so that's why I keep saying that. You know, wherever you are, that you would play global, you know, or if it's translated into your language, you know, Dragon Ball Fusions, excuse me, came out. So it has a fan base. It's known in the US and, you know, again, other countries that aren't Japan. And, you know, it has a following. People play the game. People like the game. They've heard of it before. They've seen it advertised in different places. There's a community around the game. But Dragon Ball Heroes has no such thing here. We have no access to the game. The only way that we could really play the game is A, go to Japan and play the arcade game, or B, you know, import the 3DS version of Dragon Ball Heroes and play that on a Japanese 3DS, or I guess you could emulate it, or, you know, 3DS hacking, whatnot. We won't get into that in this video, but it would still be in Japanese. There might be a translation for it, but of course that's not an official thing, and we're talking about official releases here. But do you see the point that I'm trying to get at here? You know, the fact that there's no real, like, English official thing for Dragon Ball Heroes here like there is for Fusions. You know, they're both related to games and such. So that's why I think that, you know, I'm thinking that maybe their mindset could be, you know, like, oh, are we really going to make money on this? Because people that play the global version of the game don't necessarily know about Dragon Ball Heroes. Of course, I try and keep you all informed on Dokkan information as well as I can, as well as other people in the community, so you probably know about it from there. Unless, you know, you are interested in yourself and maybe you just know about it from there anyway. But basically the point I'm trying to get at is that there's no, like, backing for the game, you know, here as like an English version where, you know, maybe they're thinking, oh, we might not make money because people don't actually know about this game, you know, that people that would play the global version. That's just kind of my idea, I guess. You know, of course, that's all just me theorizing and whatnot. I honestly think that these units are going to come out on global. Of course, they're already translated, so that's a very good sign. I'm really hoping they do because I like these units a lot. Anyway, that is going to do it for this video. I know this is more of a discussion, wasn't really too much to watch towards the end. But let me know if you guys have any opinions on the Dragon Ball Heroes banner. Of course, I'll let you know as soon as we get some information if it's coming to global or not. Again, this video is being recorded, just for context, on December 7th, 2017. We don't have information on this kind of stuff, if it's coming to global or not at this time. So if you're seeing this video later and it's already out, sorry. Anyway, that's going to do for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Give me your opinions about all of this kind of stuff in the comment section below. I'll catch you in the next one. Epic New 2 out. Peace.